Since I'll go back with another video, I'm Strange Wang. Before we get in the video, we just started a Ko-fi, so be sure to donate to that if you love and want to support the channel. Maybe get some new editing software, maybe some new sunglasses for Strange Wang, or some shirts that actually button. The possibilities are endless, so please donate to that. All the links for our social medias are in the description. But before we get to the video, I'm actually going to start the video with a clip for you guys. And this is the clip.
I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking press. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Now what I mean by that, this is a honest channel with honest opinions, honest reactions. We're not one of those channels, I ain't gonna say no names, that overhype themselves or act for the camera, who shoot fake thumbnails to get the attention, to show fake love for these properties because they know these properties, like the DCEU, have huge fan bases. We're not one of those channels. So with that being said, I gave Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League 6 out of 10 wings.
Why?
I really like the original Justice League. I didn't see the big need for this one, but we got it. So I'm gonna view it like the one never existed because this was his vision. And since I'm viewing it like that, I was like, okay, well, there's some good stuff in this movie. But I already knew that. The casting, I saw most of this cast in Batman vs. Superman. I knew there was good actors. I knew they was good for the roles. The acting, same thing. They acted great. Batman, best Batman ever. Best Bruce Wayne ever. Superman, he kills it. Gal Gadot, very good. Everyone that was in previous movies I've seen before were all very, very good at their jobs. This is a Zack Snyder movie. The action is going to be immensely fun. Hence, Batman vs. Superman, the best part of that movie was the action. And again, it is a Zack Snyder movie. If you've seen any of his other movies before, you know the cinematography is good. So all those things I knew from previous films that are in this film, I was like, yeah, they are.
Very nice.
So what's new? What's different from the other Justice League and his other movies? What's new to this Snyder cut that been hyped to the moon? What's new in it? Nothing really. It's up 1 to 2 extra hours. And I will say, one of the greatest films of all time, The Godfather, did way more in 2 hours than this movie did in 4.
You're not wrong.
You could easily cut an hour out of this movie, and if the DCEU took its time and made solo movies for some of these characters, you could have took out way more than that.
That's a fact.
The first hours of this movie, you gotta catch us up on the 3 superheroes that at that time didn't have movies: Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash. And what are their origin stories? I got issues with my parents. And that was the impression of all 3, because all you get is 3 different superheroes complaining about their issues with their parents. And after that hour, I didn't care that they had issues with their parents, dead or alive. I was more annoyed because I just saw it 3 times. But if they had solo films, I can say I probably would have actually cared. But when you pack them in back to back to back to back, I don't care. It also doesn't help that one of the characters, Cyborg, was like he's wrapped in tinfoil. How am I supposed to care about a guy that's wrapped in tinfoil? I'll tell you who I do care about. The Cyborg that had time, that had patience, that developed that story in the Teen Titans. That's the Cyborg I care about.
That's right, man. That's right.
And honestly, that's the biggest problem I have with this film. The DCEU was so rushed because he was competing with Marvel, it felt like, because they had Civil War come out that year, they had Batman vs. Superman come out that year, so it's like, alright, they're just bumping up so they can compete with Marvel, which, you know, they're trying something different, it's new, I'll give them that. But when you pack everything into like 2 or 3 movies, you're going to have problems with your movies. And this movie shows them problems because the dialogue in this movie is fine. It gets super annoying at times because the movie stops because it's cram-packed with expedition and the emotion isn't fully developed because the film stops and it's like, okay, learn about these mother boxes. Hey, I'm Aquaman. Here's my story. Hey, I'm the Flash. Here's my story. I don't have any jobs. Watch me do a job interview. Like, why? Because, like, why do you need to stop the movie to tell us all this stuff when you could have told us in 3 films and gave these characters their respect, and we could have just had a smooth going movie? Because when you see an origin story, you're expecting for those little moments of exposition that tell you what's going on, why they feel this way, etc. But in this movie, it just stops the movie completely, and it hurts the movie a lot for me because I know about these characters already. I understand not everyone knows about comic books and things of that matter, but for me, it was like, ugh, they really just did that? This movie isn't on the internet enough. People don't know this already.
That's fair.
On top of the dialogue being not so great in this film, the story is pretty unoriginal. 2 big bad goons goes and collects things, puts them together, and it will destroy the world. Where have I seen that before? I don't know, you tell me. But besides that, there's some nitpicks I have with this film. Some of the characters look pretty dumb. Cyborg looks like he's wrapped in tinfoil that's been washed off from the barbecue I had 2 weeks ago. Darkseid's forehead is too damn big. Move that bad boy up. It'll look good, just like it did in the Justice League cartoon. Martian Manhunter, you should have stuck with the Justice League cartoon for his character design too, because he's got ripples in his head. Why? He looks stupid. And other than that, I'm just not a huge fan of Zack Snyder's style. I don't think it works very well for the DCEU. It works well for other things like Watchmen 300, things like that. But for the DCEU, something so ingrained, to me it didn't really work. And it may be because I'm not a fan of his style, because to me his style is, if you put a 13-year-old boy in the first semester of film class and gave him all this money to make a movie, yeah, you'll have these great popcorn moments with the action, but the stories will be lacking, and most of his movies are lacking on the story. I think personally this movie is one of them, and all in all, Zack Snyder,
Not my cup of tea.
to me, it's nothing to write home about. Personally, if you're going to go with a dark line DC film adaptation, go with the DC animated stuff. That storyline that ended with Justice League Apocalypse, excellent stuff. That's something I would rewatch. This, I don't think I'll ever see me personally giving 4 hours of my life to watch this.
Again.
I could be doing all types of stuff in that 4 hours. I could be putting this nail to good use. I could be watching better movies, reviewing, and making YouTube videos for you wonderful people, having sex, playing Uno. I can think of a ton of things I can do in 4 hours that I would rather do than watch this movie, because this movie is just fine. Okay, it's cool. I do agree with the Rotten Tomatoes. It's right now at 75%. I think that's a good score for this movie, but this is my review, Strange Wings review, and there's some nitpicks I have for this film, which is why I gave it a 6 out of 10 wings. Tell me what you thought about this film down in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.